Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to welcome Kurt Duncan, and he is the author of Song Dogs. Kurt, can you share with us a little bit about your book?
Yeah, I can. My book, Song Dogs, is about how I basically grew up in Michigan's Upper Peninsula,
Uh-huh.
on the East End, and grew up in the Cedarville area, where the Glacial Islands are located. And it talks about how I grew up grew up at an early age, um, hunting, trapping, fishing,
Mm-hmm.
and the mentors who shaped me and taught me. It touches on that. Um, It also, being, I basically lived in the woods since I was 4 or 5. Like it's just been my life. And
Okay.
so then it talks about my family a little bit, that sort of thing, and then it leads into our wolf issue we have up here in the UP.
Mm-hmm.
Um, how they've impacted everything. They introduced wolves in the early '90s, 35 of them. They were going to plant moose. Moose all died from brain worm, but the wolves did. And they've really impacted um, a lot. Our deer herd, the farmers in this end. There's a lot. This is kind of farm country. I actually live in Pickford now, which is 11 miles north of where I grew up,
Mm-hmm.
and I've known a lot of these farmers for years. And it talks about how I got into coyote hunting and trapping, and how the wolf kind of we didn't ask for them to be here, and I'm sure they didn't ask to be here either. But
Yeah.
we have a real situation. Then it eventually leads into, because I worked for a lot of these farmers for years, taking care of coyotes and such, basically guardianships.
Mm.
And as the wolf started coming in, it was impossible not to flash because
Yeah.
coyote sets are very similar to sets. And eventually I just started taking care of the farmers and doing what we had to do. The book
Mhm.
talks about that. And eventually I was caught, arrested, and it leads into all of that.
Oh my gosh.
I did some time in jail for it. Some
Uh-huh.
hefty fines, at about 37,000 fines. Um, and it just tells the true story of how the DNR, Michigan's Department of Natural Resources, um, trumped up a lot of charges that were unfounded. And it tells the true story. It straight up basically tells the true story of all of this. Um, it also talks about, I'm a tracker, so it talks about how I got into tracking,
Uh-huh.
and how we started seeing, wolf sign around here when we did, and basically along those lines.
Wow. Okay, this sounds like a really interesting story. And it sounds like you've had like a lot of challenges with these wolves and then, just being able to share your story, I think is really incredible. Kurt, what was your inspiration for writing the book?
I always kind of wanted to write something, but
Mhm.
it was something I shoved off to the side. It talks about in the book my family, and I raised 4 kids, and this and that. But when I'll just put it out there that when I was arrested
Mhm.
and we went through everything, and I took my plea, um, I actually did 60 days in jail. So while I was sitting in there, I'm not trying to sit idle. So I ordered some paper, and I thought I'm gonna write my story.
Oh, wow.
I would call my wife 3 times a day, and I would send transcripts home, because I may have 5 to 7 pages, and I would send them home so that a lot of things can happen in jail. And I also like to say I've never been in jail before. I've never had
Yeah.
rest. This was something new to me, and but I was convicted about what I was doing. I knew
Hmm.
that if I ever got caught, I was going to pay the price. But what inspired me to write the book basically was to tell this story and get it out there. What a problem we have with the wolves, and also, our Department of Natural Resources. And I'm going to just say it: they've lied and falsified records about how many wolves we actually have. And
Wow.
me being a tracker, spending all my time in the woods in the wintertime,
Uh-huh.
I've seen the impact and found a lot of the kills that were wolves make.
Wow.
So that's basically what inspired me. So, again, they falsified some things that
Mm-hmm.
may be controversial, but I was raised not to lie and tell the truth. This is the easiest thing to do is the truth. So I wrote the true story while I was incarcerated.
Well, I think that it's really brave of you to stand up for what you know is right. And then I think that it's so cool that you took that time that you were in jail and decided to actually start writing a story and went on to get it published, so that you can get this message out there and let people know what's going on. I think that that's really cool. Kurt, is there anything else you can share about the book or the messages within the book or anything about yourself?
Well, it's basically it was a unique area that I grew up in,
Uh-huh.
and like I said, up here, when you graduate high school, everybody leaves.
Uh-huh.
We're pretty remote. Even still, we're pretty remote area. I chose to
Okay.
stay and raise my family
Mm-hmm.
because of my love of conservation.
Mm.
Um, I don't do anything half-assed, so to speak. When I
Yeah.
do something, it's 110%. That's where I was raised.
Uh,
And so, as far as saying anything else about the book, um, pretty much it's kind of a twofold thing. It talks a lot about my family in the beginning, waterfowling, training dogs, deer hunting, our traditions, how they were shaped.
uh-huh.
And pretty proud of it. I don't know how well it'll be accepted, but I'm pretty proud.
Well, again, I think that it was so brave of you to write this book, and I think that it's something that people need to be informed about. So, thank you for sharing. For anybody who's interested in picking up a copy, again, it's Kurt Duncan, and the title is Song Dogs. You can get it on barnesandnoble.com, amazon.com, and Apple Books, to name a few. Thank you so much for being with us today, Kurt.
Thank you. I really appreciate your time.